Certainly. As a teacher, I'll provide you with a more interactive and classroom-like explanation of the biological method. Class, today we're going to explore the fascinating world of science and how scientists study living organisms using something called the biological method. This method helps us answer questions about life and understand how things work. So, let's dive right in. What is science, and what's the biological method? Great question. Science is like a detective game where we try to solve mysteries about the natural world. The biological method is just one way we do this when dealing with living things. It's like a step-by-step process that helps us find answers to questions about life. Can you explain the steps of the biological method, please? Absolutely. Imagine you're a biologist, and you've stumbled upon an interesting question about living organisms. Here's what you do. Biological method. Now, within the vast field of science, we have something called the biological method. This method is specifically designed to solve problems related to living organisms. It's been a key player in scientific discoveries for centuries and has led to major advancements in medicine, ecology, and technology. Steps of the biological method. This happens when biologists recognize some biological problem and go for its solution in solving a biological problem. Biologist takes following steps. Recognition of biological problem. Observations. Hypothesis formulation. Deductions. Experimentation. Summarization of results, create tables, graphics, etc. Reporting the results. 1. Recognition of the biological problem. This is where a biologist identifies a specific question or issue related to living organisms. This could be something that someone else has asked or a question that they've come up with themselves. 2. Observations. The first step in solving a biological problem is to make observations. These observations can be based on the 5 human senses: vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Biologists may recall previous observations or make new ones. These observations can be both qualitative, descriptive, and quantitative, measurable. Quantitative observations, measured in numbers, are considered more precise. Qualitative observations examples. The freezing point of water is colder than the boiling point, or a liter of water is heavier than a liter of ethanol. Quantitative observations examples. The freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius, or a liter of water weighs 1,000 grams, and a liter of ethanol weighs 789 grams. 3. Formulation of hypotheses. Once observations are made, biologists organize and relate them to the problem at hand. This process leads to the creation of a hypothesis, a tentative explanation for the observations. A hypothesis should be a general statement, consistent with existing observations, simple, and testable. A hypothesis should have the following characteristics. It should be a general statement. It should be a tentative idea. It should agree with available observations. It should be kept as simple as possible. It should be testable and potentially falsifiable. In other words, there should be a way to show the hypothesis is false, a way to disprove the hypothesis. 4. Deductions. Deductions are logical consequences of hypotheses. Biologists use then logic to make predictions based on their hypotheses. For instance, if a biologist hypothesizes that all plant cells have a nucleus, the deduction would be, if we examine cells from a blade of grass, then each one will have a nucleus. 5. Experimentation. This is a crucial step where biologists design and conduct experiments to test their hypotheses. The deductions drawn from hypotheses are rigorously tested to determine if they are correct. Correct hypotheses are accepted, while incorrect ones are rejected. Accepted hypotheses can lead to further predictions for testing. 6. Summarization of results. Biologists collect quantitative data from experiments and analyze them statistically. Data from different groups are compared, and conclusions are drawn based on the results. 7. Reporting the results. Finally, biologists share their findings for publications in scientific journals, books, presentations at conferences, and seminars at educational institutions. Sharing results allows others to verify the findings and apply the knowledge to solve other problems. In summary, the biological method is a structured approach that biologists use to investigate and understand biological problems. It involves making observations, forming hypotheses, conducting experiments, and sharing results, all of which contribute to our ever-expanding knowledge of the living world. This method has been instrumental in advancing our understanding of biology and its applications in various fields. Thank you for joining our journey through scientific concepts with Wakar Academy. Theory, law, and principle in science. Understanding the hierarchy. In science, there is a hierarchy of concepts that help us organize and understand the natural world. These concepts include hypotheses, theories, laws, and principles, each with its own role and level of scientific support. Let's break down what each of these terms means. Hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess or a tentative explanation for a specific phenomenon or observation. It is typically based on existing knowledge and is testable through experimentation or further observation. Hypotheses are the starting point for scientific investigations and serve as a foundation for further research. Theory. A theory is a well-substantiated and comprehensive explanation of a natural phenomenon that has been extensively tested and supported by a significant body of evidence. In other words, a theory is a hypothesis that has withstood repeated experimentation and scrutiny. It is a robust and widely accepted explanation that provides a framework for understanding various related phenomena. Theories are not easily discarded and are considered fundamental to the field of study. Law. A scientific law, also known as a natural law, is a statement that describes a consistent and universal relationship observed in nature. Laws are often expressed in mathematical terms and describe how certain phenomena behave under specific conditions. Unlike theories, which explain why something happens, laws describe what happens. Laws are considered to be constant and irrefutable and are fundamental principles of nature. Principle. Principles, sometimes referred to as scientific principles or scientific principles, are general guidelines or fundamental truths that help explain natural phenomena or guide scientific processes. They are broader and more general than laws and are often used as foundational concepts in a specific field of study. Principles may not always be as universally applicable or mathematically precise as laws, but they play an important role in shaping our understanding of the natural world. Data organization in biology. Data in biology refers to the information collected through observations and experiments, such as names, dates, or values. Proper organization of this data is essential for scientific research. Here are some key points about data organization. 1. Data collection methods. Before conducting experiments, scientists must clearly describe their data collection methods. This step ensures the quality and reliability of the experiment. A well-documented methodology is crucial for the repeatability of the experiment. 2. Data formats. Data can be organized in various formats, including graphics, such as charts, graphs, and plots to visualize trends and patterns. Tables, to present data in a structured and easy-to-read format. Flowcharts, to illustrate processes and relationships. Maps, particularly useful in ecological and geographical studies. Diagrams, to represent complex biological structures or processes. Proper organization of data makes it easier for scientists to analyze, interpret, and draw conclusions from their experiments. Data analysis in biology. Data analysis is a critical step in the scientific method, as it helps scientists draw meaningful conclusions from their data. In biology, data analysis is often performed using statistical methods. Here are some important concepts related to data analysis in biology. 1. Statistical methods. Biologists use statistical techniques to analyze data. This involves the use of mathematical formulas and statistical tests to identify patterns, trends, and relationships within the data. 2. Ratio and proportion. Ratios are used to express the relationship between two numbers, e.g., a/b, and proportions join two equal ratios by the sign of equality A, B equals C, D. For example, if you know the ratio of infected sparrows to healthy sparrows after mosquito bites, you can use proportion to calculate the expected number of infected sparrows when more mosquitoes bite. 3. Mean value. Statistics allow scientists to calculate the mean, average, value of a data set. This summary statistic is essential for understanding the central tendency of the data. It helps researchers draw conclusions about the data as a whole. Mathematics and biological research. Mathematics plays an integral role in solving biological problems. Here are some examples of how mathematics is applied in biology. 1. Gene finding. Mathematical algorithms are used to identify genes within DNA sequences. 2. Protein structure. Mathematical models and simulations help determine the three-dimensional structure of proteins. 3. Protein-protein interactions. Mathematical modeling can predict and analyze interactions between proteins and biological systems. 4. Bioinformatics. This interdisciplinary field combines biology, computer science, and mathematics to analyze and interpret biological data, such as DNA sequences and protein structures. In summary, data organization and analysis are fundamental steps in the biological method. They enable scientists to make sense of data, test hypotheses, and draw meaningful conclusions, often using mathematical and statistical tools to uncover hidden patterns and relationships in biological systems. Thank you all for your time and attention. I truly appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you, and I'm grateful for your engagement and thoughtful questions.